Well, there is understandable shock and hurt amongst the Jewish community at the Labor government after they confirmed they would resume funding to UNRWA. Australia froze funds to the Palestinian aid agency after evidence emerged that some of its workers had been part of the October 7th Hamas terror attacks. Joining me now is the president of the Australian Jewish Association, David Adler. David, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Erin.
What is your response to this news today?
Look, it's an outrageous move by the Labor government. There has been overwhelming evidence that Hamas and UNRWA are closely integrated. Not only were there active participants of the October 7 massacre employed by UNRWA, but their education system for many years has been inciting hatred against Israel, glorifying terrorism. We have seen physical connections between what Hamas facilities and UNRWA facilities, weapons, rocket launchers, and this is a dreadful move by our government. The Israeli IDF spokesman recently announced that they had identified 450 UNRWA staff that were known terrorists. They gave that information to the UN and the US. So for Australian taxpayers' money to be funding this organisation is outrageous. I'll make one further point. It is undermining Israel's plan. Australia is now actively undermining Israel. Israel has already begun the legislative process to ban UNRWA from its sovereign territory and has announced that UNRWA has no role in a post-war Gaza. So now we have the Australian Labor government and the Israeli government at complete opposites in terms of objectives. It's very unfortunate.
Penny Wong said today that she was now confident that basically, and I'm paraphrasing here, they'd sorted it all out and she was... I mean, it's utterly ridiculous. You've been talking about this for many years.
Correct. How
Hamas has infiltrated this organisation. It's not like it's just speculation or there's a couple of people online. There's evidence.
There's huge evidence, and it's a great shame that Penny Wong, when she made her trip to Israel, was one of the very few official leaders who did not go to the south, who did not see the physical evidence of what happened. And with IDF protection, she could have been taken into Gaza to see the connections between UNRWA and Hamas. She has none of that information. Right. But you're right, it has been around for years. When President Trump was in office, the US suspended funding to UNRWA for failure to implement reforms. Biden restored it. So they have failed to reform and clean up their act over many years.
I've got to ask you, David, before I let you go, about the breaking news we just got from Sarah in Israel there. And forgive me, it's only just come in, but apparently I think there's been a proposal for a ceasefire where Hamas has said that they will release females, the sick, children and elderly hostages in exchange for, I think, a slightly lesser number of Palestinian prisoners. What's your thoughts on that? No response yet officially from Israel.
Well, Israel, as everyone knows, values life very highly and is very keen to get the hostages released, has done deals, generous deals in the past. So I think if it's anywhere within the realms of possible, hopefully there'll be a mechanism for getting the hostages released. That's the number one priority.
Okay, David Adler, thank you so much for your time and the great job that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin.